PrizePicks continues to be one of the easiest and most fun ways to make money watching fights. They'll even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit. If you give them $100, they'll give you $100 instantly that you can use to build an entry. If you give them 10, they'll give you 10. Either way, get your free money and build yourself an entry. My name is Angelo. This is We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my entry for UFC Louisville. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than the numbers you see on the screen, and if you're right, you can make a whole bunch of money. It's super flexible, it is super easy, and as I mentioned, they'll give you free money to play. First thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks, use promo code WWP, get that very free money, build yourself an entry, and when you are done, you'll have even more money in your account because you won, because we win. That's what we do here. But let's go ahead and focus on this event. Right off the rip, I don't love it. I do not love it. There's not a ton of lines here that make a lot of sense to me. There's not a ton of lines here that I think are just easy guarantees, and it's not a pay-per-view, so we're not going to get a promo. But there are some lines that I do like. Right off the rip, if we're looking at significant strikes, I typically look for ones that are way too low or way too high. Every now and then there's a line that's like just right, but I'm still pretty confident in it. What you will notice here is they have now added pretty much all the fighters on the card. PrizePicks historically just had a handful of fighters, but now they've added, at least for the significant strike portion, pretty much all the fighters. There are two significant strike lines that I will go with. We're going to do the more than 52.5 significant strikes on Ludovic Klein. I do think this is likely a decision, and I think it's Ludovic Klein just doing what he does in the striking department. If you go through his fight history, he's gotten past this number far more often than he has not, and frankly, I think there's more of that here. Thiago Moises is tough. Thiago Moises will strike for a little bit, and I think Ludovic Klein will let his hands go, get past 52.5. He's gotten 60 in fights that were far less in favor of him. I didn't word that well, but you get my point. Then we're going to go Julian Marquez, more than 30.5. And this one was interesting. I saw the 30.5. I was like, let me go check his stats. He gets past this number all the time. He was just finished in the second round. He was finished. He lost by finish in the second round of a fight, and this number still was not a real issue. So I think he's going to get over 30.5 significant strikes. So I'm good with that here. Then if we continue, none of these other ones make sense to me. Dustin Stoltzfus might not land a single punch. That guy might get knocked out in a half a second. We might see Raul Rosas Jr. not even land a single strike as well. It might be a wrestling match. His is one where I was like, okay, this probably goes a distance. And it's just such a high number for a guy like him that has had multiple fights where he got nowhere near that number because it was entirely grappling. Dustin Jacoby, that's one that I've toyed with. I thought for sure, I'm feeling pretty good that he's going to get over 50.5, but we haven't seen Dominic Reyes fight in a very long time. He's been knocked out 4 times in a row. He might get knocked out again here. So this may be super fast, or maybe Dominic Reyes comes out looking like an Nurmagomedov. Like, we're just going to leave that alone. If we move over to fight time minutes, unfortunately, they don't have every fight. If they had every fight here, there are some spots that I would be positive in. Notably, Andrea Lee and Montana De La Rosa. I would do the over whatever the hell the number was there because that is going to a decision no matter what. I do think Ludovic Klein is going to a decision as well, but I'm going to stick with the significant strikes instead of converting over. Raul Rosas Jr., that's another tricky one. That should go to a decision, but he is so young. He's evolving so fast. He just one punch knocks somebody out cold. So we're going to leave that alone. And Miguel Baeza, Punahil Soriano. Both of these guys have been getting finished. Both of them. Miguel Baeza hasn't fought in 2 years, coming off 2 knockout losses in a row. Punahil Soriano coming off 3 losses in a row. Like, you just can't trust all of these. Same with Eduardo Mora. That should go to a decision, but you just don't know. Not enough for me to spend my money on. Fantasy score, I'm not going to touch these, but let me show you the scoring chart. They do have their own scoring chart. So as you work your way down the list here, you'll see you get points for significant strikes landed, for takedowns landed, and takedowns defended. If there was somebody here that I was positive was going to be defending takedowns left and right, I would love it. The only person that really fits that category here is Ludovic Klein, who I already have the significant strikes here, and Taylor Lapilus. Taylor Lapilus may be defending a bunch of Cody Stamann takedowns, and then he may be getting points for those, and then getting points for the significant strikes. The only reason I'm not going to throw him in there is I don't necessarily think he wins by finish, and it could be an interesting back and forth fight. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that alone. We are going to go to takedowns, and I am going to do the more on Eduardo Mora. Eduardo Mora is taking down whoever she wants, whenever she wants to. That's essentially what's happening in these fights. Denise Gomes has been taken down multiple times in multiple fights. She's been taken down 3 times in a fight, 4 times in a fight. Like, I do think Eduardo Mora is going to get the takedowns, is going to control, and then work from there. Over 2.5 takedowns should be good. We just need 3. Denise Gomes will move. She'll scramble. She'll make stuff happen. And if this does go to the distance, well, then 1 takedown a round is all we need. So this is my entry. I do already have it built, but we got Ludovic Klein, more than 52.5 significant strikes. Julian Marquez, more than 30.5 significant strikes. And Eduardo Mora, more than 2.5 takedowns. So we're going to need 3 out of her. $20 wins you 100. Pretty straightforward. Again, not the easiest card in the world, but I do like these spots. If you like them, great. If you don't, that's fine too. Just get your free money and build your own. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. That promo code is WWP.